what we're going to do is we just want to kind of really focus on building the agency. Some days we focus on selling, some days we focus on booking appointments, some days we focus on, hiring, right? So what we want to do is just spend 10 minutes each, just kind of asking you some questions and interviewing you and learning, what are some lines that you use to maybe get people excited, get them moving fast and everything like that. So obviously we told everyone, fastest ever to board member, right? $1 million a month. Now it's senior board member, 2 million a month. But tell us a little bit about, and if you need to step inside, Eric, no worries at all. But I know Eric's had his license over, I want to say 15 years or so. So you guys are hearing from a vet, an industry vet. So make sure you're taking notes and tell us a little bit about yourself, Eric.
So first of all, thanks for having me on. Anytime I get a chance to talk to people at this level who are building, like, this is where my heart is. And, I got my insurance license in 2003. So I was 27 years old when I got that. And I didn't have, the same platform that we have. I was working with a different company that we sold insurance without leads. So I started on our agent started on a 30% contract, but because I was friends with the guy that brought me into the business, he hooked me up. I had a 50% contract, and we had no leads. And so I remember when he interviewed me for the job, I was like, well, help me understand this. So, like, who are we going to sell this insurance to? I'd never sold insurance before. He's like, well, everybody needs this. So I figured we can just go door to door. Most neighborhoods in America, like, they'll totally be into this. And that's literally what we did. We would pick these small little towns. We were in Houston at the time. We picked these small little towns on the outskirts of Houston, and I would drive like 30 minutes to get out there. And we would literally just go park my car on the end of a street and just start, like a solar salesman or whatever, just going door to door. And you talk about lines. Like, the line was literally like somebody come to the door and you go, hey, are you the man of the house? Perfect, man. My name is Eric. I'm the one that's been assigned out here to the neighborhood to catch up with everybody about life insurance. I know it's not the most pleasant subject in the world, but it seems like death is just affecting a ton of people out here. And you start dropping names, and that's how we would do it, man. So you do 30 approaches a day, and out of 30 approaches, maybe you'd get 5 or 6 sit downs, and out of those 5 or 6 sit downs, you might get one sale. And even at a 50% commission, my first year, my goal when I started was I was 27. I had never made over 100,000 in a year ever. And I was like, this year I'm going to make 100,000 a year selling this insurance. And I did. I made over $100,000 going door to door selling insurance. And so now, when I look at Family First Life, when I started here last year, about this time, it was April of last year, I wrote my first policies here.
Right.
And it was like I died and gone to heaven. I'm like, this is real. Like, you guys I can buy leads of people that are interested. You start us out at double that commission, and you can go up from there. It was just it's like a fairy tale. So
can we kind of get into because I think what everyone wants to know is, how can it work for them, right?
Yeah.
And remember, like, the first year or 2 years or 3 years, you're just trying to figure this thing out, right? You're just trying to figure out if this is going to be where you're going to be forever, right? So obviously $100,000 a month, or $100,000, I'm sorry, a year was, kind of raising the bar for you. But I know you and I, when we're having dinner last month, we're sitting over talking how now really truly at Family First Life, $100,000 a month is where the business really starts. And I just challenge everyone on here to think a lot bigger, a lot faster. You don't have to be a 20-year vet to make that kind of money. I've only had my license now for 3 years as of yesterday or last week. And so can you kind of just talk to everyone from a basic level of, so a lot of times sales pay $200 or $300, where our sales might pay $1,000. Can you just break down the business super simple so someone can relay the message?
Well, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. To me, the reason I would give you that context is because one of the things that you're talking about building an organization, and to build an organization, you have to be a great recruiter. You have to attract people to you. And there's one thing that attracts people more than anything else, and that's certainty. Okay. When you are certain that your opportunity is better than any other opportunity that's out there, then it elevates the way that you make that conversation happen. And so the reason I share that with you is because, it took me 17 years to get here, whereas it took Jordan, Jordan's only had his license, like he says, 3 years. His team's bigger than mine, and he's been in the business a fraction of the time. The difference is that, he found this sooner. And every single person on this call, right, you found this whenever you happen to find this. Maybe some of you, this might be your first stop ever in the insurance world. And it's really those people that I almost want to speak to, because people that have come from somewhere else, like, we know, hey, dude, like, this is way better than where it is. But it's the people that came here first that sometimes we just don't realize, like, how good this is. And so I think the number one thing you can do every morning when you wake up is to remind yourself how good you have it. And not only how good you have it, but how good you can make it for other people. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing is like, what is my mission today? Is my mission to grow an agency, or is my mission to, like, make the lives of other people better? Right. So when I make my mission to make the lives of other people better, I wake up with a different intensity, a different mindset. All of my conversations are different. Right. I'm not talking about how great I am and how great we have it and blah, blah, blah. And if you're lucky, you can be a part of it. Right. I'm all about, like, dude, tell me about your life. If I can make your life better in this way, if you didn't have to prospect as much, if you didn't have to sell as much to make double the income, if you could spend more time with your family because you had more opportunities to sit down in front of prospects and legitimately help them, if you could do this, if you could do that, if you could grow your agency twice the speed, 4 times the speed, 10 times the speed, like, would that be something interesting to you? And you start using language like that, and it's from my heart, right? But it's from my heart because of the experience. And so what I want to do is like if I could take all the 17 years of experience that I had somewhere else and put it into your brain the way they do in the Matrix, right? Where they put it into Neo's head and your nose kung fu all of a sudden. It's like, if you can do that and get that, it's like, wow, all of a sudden you can approach anyone. And I think that's what makes this business, if you really want to grow fast, it's not about approaching everyone. It's about approaching anyone. So I say, like, approaching everyone is, hey, dude, like, the guy that's throwing up gas next to me, he could sell insurance. The lady working the counter here, she could sell insurance. Yes, that's true. I could run an ad. 100 people from ZipRecruiter, they should all work with me, right? But what makes the business grow dramatically faster is when you can pick out anyone that you actually know and say, hey, dude, if I could make your situation, or hey, lady, if I could make your situation dramatically better, right? Would you take 15 minutes and look at it? Right. And being able to train, that's what's helped my business go. So you want to, like, ask, like, okay, how did Eric go to board member fast? Right. I cheated. And the way I cheated is I went to people that I already were in my life, right? Not necessarily insurance people, but just anybody. I mean, one of my first recruits was a buddy of mine. Had never sold insurance, but he had owned a business repairing boats out of here on Lake Travis in Austin, Texas, out on Lake Travis. So he didn't know sales, right? But he knew how to work on boats. He was a hard worker. He had a lot of integrity. He was just a good dude. And I was like, and he was in the middle of a pandemic. His business was shut down. And I just got on the phone with him. And I was like, dude, I heard your business shut down. I heard you were up for, you're in a bad spot. Let me pitch you on something that will change your life. Wow. Right? And I was brand new. Like, I hadn't even sold a policy yet. I was in the middle of getting my contract date. But the reason I could speak with it to him with such authority on it is because I've been in the business forever and I knew, like, how dramatically better this was, right? Those of you guys that are on this call, you've built your business to sales manager, senior sales, whatever it is. So you know how to do that. Well, dude, if you can teach someone else how to do that, you can dramatically change their life. And I think sometimes we don't consider it some life-changing thing. It's just like, hey, dude, would you like a different job? Do you hate what you're doing? Can I make your life a little better? No, this is dramatically.
It's 10x. It's 10x.
Exactly.
It's 10x better, dude. I want to kind of hit on one other thing, or two other things that you said specifically. Number one, I had a phone call this morning with a good friend of mine. He won't mind me sharing this. Brandon Kitchens, and we were talking, right? And he's like, dude, I'm at 30K this week. I'm going to be at 33K, 35K this week. And Brandon's like my brother, and so I was like, dude, but how many new people did you help write 10K this week? See, if you help 2 new people write 10K this week, or say you help 2 part-timers write 4K this week, to me, that's so much better than writing 20K myself or 30K myself. Now, if you need the money, you're writing 30, like I'm not mad at him, but I'm saying, dude, if your goal is to build an agency, which is what we're talking about here, passive income, financial freedom, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month passively, we know it's the most profitable business in the United States. I mean, bar none. But I was like, how many, new people getting paid, how many new people did you get paid? And you should have a list, a whiteboard every single week, checking that off. And then the tactic you used to recruiting. So you said, hey, you knew his business, but I like how assumptive you were. So if you're taking notes, write the word assumptive, just like selling. So he said, hey, I know you're in business. I know your business isn't doing probably great right now because of the pandemic. Is that right? Right. You were assumptive in the pitch, in the recruit. So the same thing can be said when we're recruiting people who are really successful or whose businesses are doing great. Hey, Eric, I know your business is killing it, but who in your friends or family do you know that's this, this, and this? An intentional way to recruit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I know this probably isn't for you because your business is killing it, but I respect you. Do any of your friends or family who are looking to make, 6 figures, possibly 7 figures in the next 2 to 5 years, right? The indirect approach of recruiting, but still being assumptive. Are you with me on that?
Well, and also like the way that you frame it, like the way you just framed it is good because so look, 99% of life is just showing up. So the fact that you even ask the question at all sets you apart from everybody else that wouldn't ask the question, right? But then the way that you ask that question, right? It's like, are you asking as a favor for yourself, right? So I've got a buddy of mine who's an attorney. He's like, does very well. He sent me a bunch of people, right? So I don't go to him and say, hey, Dean, help me out. I'm doing my business. I'm looking for this type of person. Do you know anybody? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't ask it like that. I ask it as an opportunity for him, right? Not an opportunity for me, as an opportunity for him. I go, Dean, dude, you're killing it right now. I know I know, like in the back of your mind, like if you could give your success to other people, you would, right? I know you would, but like you can't because it takes this many years of law school and this kind of specific training and da. Like you're one in a million people that can do what you do, correct? Okay. My business, on the other hand, is totally different. I can take anybody from Yale or from jail, it doesn't matter, and I can turn it into, a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month earner. Who do you know that you would love to give that kind of opportunity to? Who do you know that deserves that kind of shot that I can talk to?
Oh my God, Eric. That is like worth, that should be a book. That should be a freaking book right there. My business is, so you're complimenting, guys. So write that down, right? You're a genuine, because these are sometimes people that are a challenge for you to recruit when you're new, because you're scared, right? So, wow, Yale or jail. My business isn't like that. I know if you could give all your success, I know if all you, like you would, because you're obviously a giving guy, right? They say, they agree. And then, I need, right? We are looking for 7 to 10 new people right now, because we are looking for 7 to 10 people right now to onboard and get moving. Who do you know, right? And then you get them moving fast. And I love that. So I'll let Alex hop on here and get some Q&A going with you, but tell me just what your goals are. We got, we're in the first month of Q2. I know you guys are, clipping along, but what's your goal for issue paid for your agency by the end of the year?
Yeah, so great question. So last year we did, and from April, starting at 0, April to December, we did 5.7 million, which is so crazy. That's like 3 times better than my best year ever. And then this year so far, we've done 5.9 million. So we already outsold last year by right now. And my goal is for the end of the year is 20 million. So my down to the penny projections is 19.8, but if we can do 19.8, we'll do 20. So 20 million.
20 million. I don't doubt it, dude. I don't doubt it. Well, I'll kind of hop out of the way. Mr. Alex Peraza, hop on here, my man. I appreciate you hosting this call for us. I'm excited to kind of hear you guys chat and go over some things you guys say.
Absolutely, man. I'm super excited to talk to Eric. Definitely a huge inspiration for everybody on this call. Everybody in the company is inspired by what you and Dave have done in the last year. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I think the whole company has risen because of that. So that's why we definitely wanted to have you on the call. And you guys set new standards, and everyone's trying to raise the bar with you. So we got people doing 500K in 6 months or 3 months, and I'm like, that's insane. So yeah, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions as far as like, recruiting, stuff like that. One of the biggest questions that we had though as a team was, how do you get a new agent? Let's say your lawyer friend, right? He sends you a recruit. How do you turn that recruit into not only into a successful agent, right? Like as fast as possible, but also getting them to become a business owner and build their agency as well, and see the value of that early on.
Yeah, so great question. So to me, it's all about very specific, measurable milestones, and that are the same for everyone. And then how fast can you hit those, right? So step one, right? So I want to know how fast from introduction to hire meaning, dude, I'd love to work with you. Are you in? Yes, I'm in. Great, let's go, right? That's hire, right? So how fast can that happen? If I get somebody's name this morning, I should be able to hire them this afternoon, right? So how can I reduce, if you have a long hiring process, like, watch this video, then go here, then talk to me, then we talk to our team, then you talk to your team leader, then maybe we decide if we want to work together. I just challenge you to lose that, okay? So that's the way I used to do it in my old place. And one of the biggest transformations we made right away here, it wasn't because strategic, it was actually just by accident. But it was like, I got on the phone with a guy and I was like, to interview him, and he goes, you're telling me you can start me at 110% and you can get me all the leads that I want, and you can appoint me with all these different carriers? I'm like, yeah. He goes, great. How do I get started? Right. And it was kind of like, oh, well, if it's that easy, then maybe I just need to start assuming that it's always going to be like that. And so I recrafted my conversation to just be a one call close. And it is, this is an awesome business. If you're in the insurance business, if I can't help you see the light in one conversation, you probably don't need to be working with me. That's my 2 cents, And if you're not in the insurance business, I mean, maybe 2, but I'm still going to go for 1, right? So that's the first thing. So how fast can I get them to that? And then from hire, you kind of have 2 tracks. So you have people that you hire that are licensed, and you have people that are not licensed. So if people are not licensed, what I say to them is, I say, listen, so, we're in a regulated business. And what that means is that we can't do anything with you until you're licensed. Okay. So I have, behind this door, I have the best sales training, the most awesome podcasts, YouTube videos, boot camps. I can teach you A to Z how to make a ton of money here. And I can't show you any of that until you get your license. Okay. So what state are you in? Perfect. And I have mock-ups on my website for the different states that I recruit in. And I didn't build those ahead of time, by the way. Like when people would come to me and they were in a new state, I'd be like, okay, great, man, I'm going to send you a link. And then I'd have to go build that page real quick. So, but basically it's just a step-by-step, and you guys can check it out. It's on if you want to see, it's fflvelocity.com/start. If you go to that page, there'll be a link basically to all the different states that we've built pages for. But basically it's a step-by-step. So what I tell them is, I say, look, I can hook you up with, I have a licensing specialist that I can hook you up with, and she can kind of walk you through everything. But honestly, dude, like, if you can learn how to use Gmail, you can learn how to get licensed. I have it all step-by-step, color by number on the website. If I send you this link, okay, how fast can you get registered for your class? Right. And then I just ask them for commitments, small little commitments like that. Right. And I don't tell them, hey, I need you to do this by then. I just ask them, hey, by when can you do X? And that also is a valuable tool for me. Right. So number one, I'm not pushing people faster than they want to go, but I'm also creating the sense of urgency. Like, hey, dude, like, we're moving fast. How fast do you want to go? And then I listen for what they say. It's like, oh, dude, I can totally get registered here in 10 minutes. What do I do next? Okay, that's the guy. Then I know, I'm like, dude, this is a good one, right? And then versus Oh, totally, dude. I'll get to that after the weekend. Okay, well, I know this guy's got, a social life or whatever else is going to be, I might have other challenges down the road, right? So
Right. Priorities
just ask,
or whatnot.
just listen. Nobody's priorities are right or wrong. It's just they have their priorities. I have my priorities. So I'm looking for priorities that are a match, right?
Yeah.
And I don't dissuade people or kick them out. I just kind of file them in column B, right? And I'm looking for my column A people. That's it. And I don't really even tell them that. That's for me personally, right? I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm looking for people that I can run with. And those are easy indicators, right? And so a lot of states, another trick is that I learned a long time ago is a lot of states will allow you to register for your exam before you pass a class. Like Texas is like that.
Yeah.
So that's like literally my number one thing. If I recruit somebody in Texas, I go, hey, look, dude, like I'm going to give you a code to get access to our class for free. That's a $200 value we pay for.
Yeah.
What I need you to do first is I need you to go to this website and schedule your exam today. And then they go and schedule their exam, say 10 days from now. Well, now that's like final exams. Like they have to be ready because their exam is coming up. And so that speeds up the process rather than just giving somebody a code and then they take 30 days or 60 days to go through the class, right? So those are kind of like just small little tips on the licensing track. And if I have somebody that's already licensed or once somebody gets through that, then it's just a matter of contracting. So it's like, okay, look, dude, so we have, 15, 20 different carriers I can get you appointed with, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you appointed with Prosperity first because they'll get you a writing code literally probably by tomorrow. And we're going to put in requests for all these other companies. So once you get your Prosperity code, let me know. We're going to go on and buy some leads for you to go and tackle immediately with Prosperity. And that's just something that we do if that fits what you guys do, great. But like, to me, it's way more valuable to get somebody in the field and moving, even if they only have one product.
Yeah.
And the reason
So we're doing the exact same thing. We're duplicating that. Now, can you tell me, you hired me today? Okay. I'm just starting with you. I've got some leads. I just got Prosperity. America's coming in next week and I'm dialing some leads. Now, I do want to be like you, Eric. I do want to have an agency. I would like to not sell insurance till I'm 80. I'd like to retire at some point. But I'm a little worried about producing and selling my 10K a week and also hiring. So how could I teach someone about the business? Because I have a bunch of friends that I know would do good at this, but I just don't know what to say to them. Can you kind of help me?
Sure. So Jordan, let me ask you this, man. How soon are you looking to retire?
I would say 10 years, 9 to 10 years.
Okay. So not tomorrow or anything like that, right?
Not tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So step one, man, is to really get good at moving this product. Okay. If you can't move this product, you could refer me 10 or 15 people. We can recruit them and they can be on your team, right? But they're never going to come and ask you for anything if they can't see you being good at moving this product. Okay. And I get the fact that you're a little, nervous about your ability to move the product consistently. That's what we're here for. Okay. So I know how to do that. All these guys know how to do. We're going to help you do that to where, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days from now, after you've gone on your first 100 appointments, you're going to be like, hey, dude, I got this. And you'll be able to teach all your friends how to do that. Okay. That doesn't mean we have to wait to talk to them. Okay. But what I want you focused on is making these dials, setting these appointments, and going through the first 100 appointments so you can learn how to sell. Don't worry about recruiting your friends. Give me their names. I'll call them for you.
Okay.
Okay. And I do that because.
So for their first month, if they're running 30 appointments a week, right? 30, 60, 90, 120, we know they're going to sit about 15, right? So we're looking at 6 weeks.
Yep.
What if I want to onboard a bunch of people? Do you use one or two of the same tools over and over, like the same video? Like if you were going to explain to me, if you met me at a sports club or a golf course or at a restaurant, how would you explain Family First Life in 30 seconds?
Yeah. So look, Jordan, basically, my buddies and I have an insurance brokerage. We move a ton of life insurance. Okay. And the reason our business has blown up so much is because we invest thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing to have people inquire and ask us how they can get life insurance. And then what we do is we just go help those people get what they want. Pretty easy. Okay, pretty simple. But I'm looking for agents right now that I can bring on and teach how to do that either part-time want to make a couple grand a week or full-time want to make 10, 15, 20, 30 grand a month. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Oh, dude, I would quit my job today.
Okay, so I don't want you to do that, okay? Because first, like, you just need to educate yourself and make sure that's something that you do want to look at. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you a link. Once you look at it, it's a 20-minute video, and there's some links afterwards you can kind of go through. I know you're working your shift right now. If I sent you this link, text it to you right now, when's a good time for us to talk again?
11:30.
Perfect. I'll call you at 11:30. Okay, so now I'm gonna text them. That's it.
If I would you guys,
Yep.
if you don't do anything else, for everyone that's on this call, if you watch that 2 minutes, what Eric just said, if you watch that 2 minutes 25 times, you will get rich. RICH rich. Dude, like that is I love listening to you recruit. You're like Eric Worre. So what's one thing you would say to a brand new agent who's just sold their first 10 grand? They just sold 10 grand their first 7 days. All right. But they want to start running ads and getting staff. Okay. They want to go fast. They're not a walker. They're an all the timer, right? We got some timers, part timers, full timers, and all the timers. Okay. I want to go fast. What do I do right now with my first 3 grand? I got $3,000 to put into marketing outside of leads. Okay. Where am I going with my administrative assistant or my recruiter, my staff, my personnel, where am I going? 3 grand.
Yeah. So you need an admin. You need an admin to handle your sales part of your business. If you're going to write 10K a week, you're going to have pending policies. You're going to have chargebacks. You're going to have things that happen. You're going to want to write thank you cards. You're going to want persistency. So you need somebody. Now that person, you think of it as a function. Okay. It's not a human being. The human being performing a function. The function of staffing your $10,000 a week, sales business is probably a 15 to 20 hour a week function. Okay. So could you hire 2 people to do what I'm about to say? Sure. But you could probably get away with doing it with 1 person until that person's just like, right? And they'll tell you when they need help, right? They will. And then with the other 20 or 30 hours a week that you're going to have them work for you, have them recruit. And so you take that extra money and you put it into, if there's a go high level slot available to you, take it. That's a no brainer. If there's not, then I would invest it in either ZipRecruiter, or I would invest it in your own Facebook recruiting campaign. And there's several good vendors out there that you don't manage it yourself, pay somebody to manage it for you. Okay. We're not in the business of managing campaigns. We're in the business of selling insurance and teaching other people to sell insurance. So you always keep your mind focused on what you get paid to do. Don't get smart and try to save yourself $300 a month management fee. It's dumb. And I've done it myself. So I'm just passing it along. Learn if you want.
Dodging the potholes. Alex, I want to hit Eric with one more question from you and one more for me, and let's get everyone back to their Sunday. Okay, buddy?
You got it. Absolutely. Everyone's loving this call, dude. Thank you so much, Eric. You're really inspiring a lot of people. So how much do you spend on marketing?
2 grand on go high level. I put another 600 and some odd dollars on ZipRecruiter slots. And then that is the most, ZipRecruiter is the most labor intensive recruiting you can do because the people on ZipRecruiter are looking for salaried jobs. And so when they apply for whatever they apply for, even if they read your ad completely, which they won't, you'll have to get, your recruiter has to explain to them, oh no, this is commission, this is what it is. And they need to be super upfront with them. Or else it can kind of occur as a bait and switch, which I'm not a big fan of. So I'm a way bigger fan of spending more money on Facebook and form funnel driven recruiting than I am using job boards. That's my personal opinion.
And I think, Alex, to answer your question about budgeting for marketing and things like that, I think that's going to come from 3 of your people that you're running against, right? People that are doing 500 to $1 million a month, because your budget at 60 grand a month agency or 50 grand a week versus 20 grand a week is totally different. So that's going to be, before I hit with one more question, do you have anything else, Peraza?
I just wanted to know, so when you get agents hiring, what do you tell them to do? Like the first 3 things to do, let's say they have sold 20K their first month. You tell them to invest in same campaigns that you are?
Well, actually, so before I tell them to start spending money on recruiting, I tell them to look at their warm market. And I really mean that, guys. Like if you're not your first 100 people that you recruit could all be warm market. So I'm not saying like just do that for the first handful of people and then spend money. Like when you get to a business my size, like my business doing a couple $1 million a month now, I've run out of the people that I know, not run out of them, but I mean, I'm pretty much talk to everybody, right? And so now I have to go outside that. But you're crazy if you don't talk to the people that you know and that know of you.
You're going to get rich with them, and that's the thing.
Exactly, and you tell them that. You say, look, so instead of like Jordan said something earlier about, hey, I'm looking for 7 to 10 people I can bring on. And my adjustment to that, if you're talking to warm market, is I'm looking for one person that I can work with and partner with and build it. That's how Dave recruited me, right? Dave didn't say, dude, I'm looking for 5 or 6 guys that I can teach to do what I'm doing. He's like, bro, like if you and I were doing this together, we would annihilate it. Stop fooling around and come over here and help me build it, right? And I learned something from that because, you know, I mean, Dave will be the first person to tell you he's not like an amazing recruiter. He outsources. I love recruiting. He's not so much, right? But that's the best recruiting he's ever done in his life is to recruit, you know, me. I'm not saying that like that, but
no,
like,
yes, but absolutely.
But absolutely, it taught me something. It taught me, man, that's how I recruited Todd Hausberger. That's how I recruited Adam Yetter. That's how I recruited all these ballers, Ron Miller. I can go down a list of people that all are EVPs now. I all recruited them not by saying, dude, be one of the many. It's like, no, because you're so freaking special and awesome. Come work with me and let's get rich together. And they believe that because they know me, right? Not because I found them on an ad, right?
Dude, that was amazing.
I mean, just the amount of money people can make from this call, Eric. Like, I mean, we thank you so much because we know, right? We know the things, right? Book the only things that make you money: booking appointments, sitting with clients, selling insurance, and teaching someone about FFL who didn't know about FFL. That's it, right? And this is going to be exponential. I love this. Last thing I got for you: what's your target quota for how many people you want to put in contracting a week at $1 million a month agency? Okay, at $1 million, how many people are you trying to contract a week? And what does that look like? And we'll have everyone back to their Sundays and we'll get this recording out.
Yeah, so we are at this moment, last week, we had 22 new writers, okay, for the week. So I would love to get on a string of 20 new writers every week. In order to do that, you know, your whole organization needs to be doing somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 40 to 50 new contracts a week. So like, for example, me personally, so I give myself a job. My job is I want to contract 10 people a week, me, right? But then my recruiter has a job, right? Every single person in my organization that's a recruiter, Corey Williams, Todd Hausberger, they have their jobs, right? And so when you multiply that out, they don't work for me, they work for themselves, but that's occurring in my business.
Correct.
So like, but the one thing too, Jordan, is I don't get super, what do you call it? I don't micromanage what they do. Okay. I don't get on phone calls with them and say, bro, you're not doing enough, like ever. It's like whatever they're doing is great, right? And all I try to do is do more than they're doing. Because if I do more than they're doing, then they're constantly coming to me going, bro, how are you doing that, right? So as long as I'm leading the way in activity and results, then it creates the energy where people want to come and know what I know or know what I'm doing or can I copy what you're doing? If I was lagging behind, they wouldn't care, right? So I think the biggest thing for you as an individual watching this call, listening to this call is who are you working with and what level of performance can you commit to that you know will outstrip everybody on your team? If you do that, you'll never have any wins.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it so much. I think we'll get everyone back to their Sundays, but Family First Life Tribe going to senior board member, going executive board member, and then council member by the end of the year. No doubt about it. On to 5 million, dude. So Peraza, great job today, buddy. I'll let you send it off, you know, get everyone back to their day, and appreciate everyone getting on.
Hey, real quick, Eric, before we hop off, dude.
Yeah.
Do you want to put your number out there if people want to work with you? You know, someone out there watching this? Oh, you're muted, by the way.
You're muted.
Yes. You can find me on all the social media platforms at FFL Tribe. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that's it. FFL Tribe. And just drop me a DM on any one of those. I'll be happy to talk to any of you guys.
And then anybody can just go.
But hey, but listen, forget that. Before I even say that, like, you two guys are like two of the best leaders. Like, both of you guys. Like, Jordan leads the way for me, right? So Jordan, I don't know if I ever told you that, man, but like every week when our numbers come out, like if I'm ahead or behind you, I'm like, oh, right. So like, you're my guy. You're my guy that I'm chasing. I just want to acknowledge you in front of your team, because like, the reason that the tribe is growing so fast, one of the ingredients is that Jordan is growing faster than we are. So that pisses me off, and that's one of the reasons we're growing so fast. So I want to acknowledge you for that. And Alex, man, like, your hunger and your dedication to your team, and you have this desire to provide like the very best in terms of customer service and training. Like, it exudes everything that you do. And I'm super proud to be on this call with you guys. Anybody that's working with you, like, has hit a home run. So thank you for having me.
You got it, bro. It was our pleasure. Couldn't do it without the whole team. So let's keep growing. Everyone have a great day. Sunday, if you're not where you want to be, get on the phones, get ahead of it, recruit, dial. If you need me, I'm here for 3 ways all day. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you later, guys.